All right, here we go. 10 actions that will instantly change your mood. Number 1, increase your heart rate. Motion creates emotion. If you don't like the state that you're in, if you don't like the mood that you're in, do something that will spike your heart rate. For me, what I like to do is I just like to drop down and do as many push-ups as I possibly can, all the way to failure. Stand up, breathe, catch my breath, have a drink of water, drop down, do it again. In fact, I like to do it about 3 times, 3 sets. Doesn't matter how many I do. I've got one thing in mind: spike my heart rate. If push-ups doesn't appeal to you, which I have to be honest with you, it doesn't appeal to me either. It's a tool. It's a tool that I'm using to create or to develop or establish a different set of emotions than I'm experiencing at the present moment. But if you do not want to do push-ups, start doing jumping jacks. It doesn't matter what you do, just spike that heart rate. Where focus goes, energy flows. There's a neuroscientist out there by the name of Wendy Suzuki. This is what she says. The neurotransmitter dopamine has been associated with pleasure and reward. Dopamine is released in the brain when you fall in love, when you win a jackpot at the slot machines, and when you exercise. Suzuki continues on by saying the dopamine release may also be related to that positive addiction some people experience with regular exercise that can lead to general crankiness when you don't get your regular exercise hit. Number 2, focus on what you're grateful for. According to Harvard Health Publishing, gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. There are 3 primary ways you can dial into feeling grateful. Number 1, be grateful for something that has already happened to you. It's in the past. Maybe it was in your childhood. Maybe it was a few months ago, years ago. A door of opportunity that was presented to you. Something in the past that you can be grateful for. Number 2, something that is in the present that you do not want to take for granted. Number 3, the future. To have an optimistic attitude about something that you are on the precipice of, something that is around the corner, something that you can see happening in your life maybe in a few years from now. If you need help finding something to be happy about, I just found this website that I had to laugh when I found it. It's called happynews.com. It's real news, real events, but it's all good news. In this day and age, if you turn on the news, CNN, Fox News, there's an old saying, if it bleeds, it leads. In other words, if it's bad news, then that's what we're going to start with. But on this particular website, it's good news and good news only. happynews.com. My hat is off to the creators and developers of that website. The world needs more happy news. Number 3, laugh. Just laugh. According to a study I read, laughter draws people together in ways that trigger healthy physical and emotional changes in the body. Laughter strengthens your immune system, boosts your mood, diminishes pain, and protects you from the damaging effects of stress. As children, we used to laugh hundreds of times a day. But as adults, life tends to be more serious and laughter more infrequent. I've got an exercise for you. You're going to think I'm crazy when I present this to you, but I've got an exercise. I've done it so many times in my life. Go up to a mirror. If you're at a red light, look into the rearview mirror right now. But go to a mirror, and if there's no mirror nearby, you can just start doing it right now. In fact, you can press pause on this podcast and do this simple exercise. Watch this. Start fake laughing. Now stay with me here. Fake laugh. I mean, you just sit there and fake laugh. Just start faking it. You're by yourself. Nobody's watching you. Nobody can judge you. Nobody can look at you and realize how crazy you're acting. Just start fake laughing. And what you'll realize is that your fake laugh will turn into a real laugh. A lot of times, many of us have not laughed in so many years that we just don't even laugh anymore. And when you hear something funny, you say, "That's really funny. That's really good. That's really funny." Well, if it's funny, why aren't you laughing? I'll tell you why, because sometimes we get in these patterns or these ruts of not laughing at anything, and before we know it, we don't ever laugh anymore. But laughing can indeed shift and change your moods immediately. Number 4, do something productive. Step away from your worries. Step away from whatever it is that's consuming you and get absorbed in something neutral, like folding laundry or washing dishes, or for me, it's going out and doing yard work. For me to mow my yard, edge my yard, all that kind of stuff, it can be very time consuming. And what we find is when we back up and we look at a stack of clothes that we just folded, or all of a sudden all the dirty dishes inside of the sink are gone, or we back up and we look at our yard, immediately we get this sensation of, man, I just crushed it. That is done. There are endorphins that burst through your body whenever something gets done. Number 5, go do something good for someone. There's a book by the Mental Health Association called Doing Good Does You Good. Whether it's offering your seat to a pregnant woman on a bus or making a cup of tea for a work colleague, doing good does you good. I mean, even if it's just a small, simple favor, or maybe you're going to manipulate your own emotions by calling somebody you love and just saying, "Hey, I want you to know I love you." Do something good for someone else. And if we can make it a staple in our life, our mental state will look forward to that event. If you're volunteering somewhere once a week, if you're mentoring someone, and if you're doing something for a greater cause, or random acts of kindness without putting your name on it, you will feel your spirits lift. Number 6, sing out loud. Now, this is one of those things that you may feel silly at the beginning, much like when I was talking about fake laughing. But if you don't feel silly, you're not doing it right. Sing out loud. A lot of times we do this in the shower. A lot of times we do this in the house by ourselves or in the car. Some of you would think, man, I would never do that. This would be my challenge as a sidebar. Don't take yourself so serious. Just start singing out loud. Now, here's a transparent moment. I don't think that there is a song in this country, I don't care what kind of song, a Christian song, a rock song, a country song, a rap song, or whatever. I don't think I know all the words to any one song that has ever been written. So what I end up doing whenever I'm singing a song is I end up singing the same part of the song that I know over and over again. But when you sing and when you sing out loud, your moods change. And in this day and age, it's so easy to do that because we all have access to a million songs just through our iPhone, cell phone, Samsung phone, whatever kind of phone you have. But sing out loud. Number 7, get this. Look how simple this is. Drink water. According to Brain MD, it's a website I found. It says this: your brain is 80% water. Your muscles, including your heart, are 75% water. Your blood is 83% water. Your lungs are 90% water. Your skin is 64% water. And even your bones are 30% water. It is important to think of water as a nutrient your body needs. I had a friend one time growing up, anytime he asked his mom or his dad for Tylenol or Advil because he had a headache, his mom would always look back at him and say, I'll give you some Tylenol or some Advil, but before I do, I want you to drink this full glass of water. And then if you still have a headache in 5 minutes, then I'll give you some Advil or some Tylenol. I was just a teenager when I heard that conversation taking place. I have never forgot that. Drink water. If you're in a bad mood, pound a whole bottle of Ozarka water. Just pound it and find out where your moods are within 5 minutes later. Number 8, go outside. The only time we go outside these days is when we're walking from our house to our car, from our car to our office, from the office back to the car, from the car back to our house. I've got a very close friend of mine. He was struggling with depression big time. And so he went to a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist said, look, I could very easily prescribe you some medication that would help you. But before I do that, before I even think about doing that, I'd like to draw your blood. So she draws his blood. And wouldn't you know that there was a vitamin D deficit, a major deficit. And without vitamin D, some people call it the feel-good drug. Without vitamin D in our body, without a surplus of vitamin D, you will find your moods in the toilet all the time. Number 10, take an injection of inspiration. You will feed others on what feeds you. This podcast is an injection of inspiration. But there are other podcasts out there. There are other audio books out there. There are books everywhere. You have access to millions of books inside of your iPhone. I would challenge all of us, including myself, to have a daily dose of inspiration. I hope this has helped you today. You are going to spend eternity somewhere. Make sure you're ready.